Okay, here we have Taria. And Taria, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So the question is, well, the first is a statistic. The statistic is 70% of black women are single, and there are only 54% of black men who are considered viable candidates. This means that they have not been incarcerated, they don't have children, and they have a college degree.
Okay.
So how do you feel about that statistic?
Well, when I first heard it, it was kind of alarming because the fact that there's a higher population of single women than there are of available men. So that tells me that our men are very either irresponsible or just prone to violence or to getting into trouble, which is not good.
Do you think that this, like, the black man has a harder struggle than most men?
Um, that question's complicated, let me think. In this day and time, I feel it's kind of improving a little bit, but I still see that when it comes to work and job placement, that they definitely do. Just thinking about my stepdad, he has a really advanced education, but it's really hard for him to get a higher position at his job just because of the competing, white males that work with him, and just the whole NIH institution itself is very, geared to promoting those of their own and not the minority.
Okay, so have you ever been in a relation? Well, first of all, do you have standards?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been in a relationship where you've compromised one of your standards?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so would you like to tell me about a time when you compromised your standards and what happened?
Um, well, a big statement for me is just being connected with your family and like having that interaction with them. And with this specific person, he wasn't really connected with his mom or dad. And me being a psychology major, I see that that's a big factor on how he acts towards me and just how he acts in general. So I kind of compromised a little and tried to help him maybe find solutions to get reconnected with his family. And he's slowly doing that, but I mean, it's still kind of like in the back of my mind, like, I don't think this is going to work just because I don't see that connection being as strong as I would like it or as I would think is needed.
Do you think it's important for people to make compromises in their relationships?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, we all have like differences in relationships. Work when two people are different, it's not always good to have two people that are just alike. So definitely, I think compromise is needed.
And would you ever compromise one of your standards to avoid being single?
No, because my personal ideal, I can do it on my own, and if I'm successful on my own, then I don't need anybody else. If I have to compromise my standards, so no.
Okay, so how does that make you feel in relationship to the statistic about 70% of single black women?
I mean, it just goes back to the fact that may be the case, but I know if I'm by myself, I'll be okay, because I'm gonna make sure I have education, make sure I'm wealthy. Even if I'm not, even if I don't find that one, I can adopt kids. I mean, there's other methods for me to get what I want in life, so.
Okay, and one last question. Do you feel like black America is moving away from the traditional family?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just because people are having kids before they get married, and the wife or the woman in the relationship is now sometimes making more money than the male, where back then the male was kind of the dominant one who provided for the family. So definitely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.